how did you end up? This is you could say it's a niche area. Here you are as a
Mm.
queen of manifestation. I know your friends gave you that name. How did you end up?
So I always was a manifester. I didn't really call it that. I didn't recognize that that was what I was doing, but I saw myself as an artist. And when I was little, I was always a good visual artist. My parents nurtured me. They were amazing parents and nurtured that in me. So I had this feeling of like I can see things in my mind and create them on the physical form as an artist. And then living my life, after college, I would say even during college, it really was like, oh my gosh, I started attracting things to me that were a match to what I thought in my head very quickly. And people who I used to admire, like well known visual artists or filmmakers or spiritual leaders, I started meeting them or becoming friends with them. And manifested living rent free in Manhattan for 10 years in my apartment, and crazy story that I renovated with my own jacuzzi, bathtub, bathroom and new kitchen, and lived there for 10 years with, all of my 20s, and just so many magical things. And then my friends started asking me to basically tell them what I was doing. Because every time we got together, I had another story like Lauren just shared. I had a story like that every time I got together with my friends. And so they were like, what are you doing, Jen? How can we do this for ourselves? And that's really how it started, very naturally. And everything's kind of happened since. Even my book, Manifesting Made Easy, that's a
Yeah,
story in and of
that's a
itself.
great story. She wanted to she wants to write a book, but she wants to write it with a major, like Simon and Schuster. So go ahead. I like that story.
Yeah. So I had the idea to write a book for the very first time, and I just said it out loud. I was on the phone like this, having a conversation. I think I have a book within me, but I didn't take any action on it. But I was talking to my coach at the time. So she said, awesome, Jen. She didn't say, well, that's a stupid idea, Jen. You could never do that. Right. And so often when we have a big dream, someone in our lives either tells us that that's crazy, we could never do it, or our own head, right? We tell ourselves that's crazy. I could never do it. And so we don't believe that it's possible and we never take action on it. I just had that belief. Okay, I think I'm going to write a book, right? I didn't take any action on it, but that belief was reinforced. Like, yes, Jen, you could do this, right? And a week later, my dream publishing company was Simon and Schuster. A week later, after just saying out loud, I think I have a book within me, I get an email from a publishing company from like my website contact form. And it was like, Jen, we love your voice on your blog. We'd really love for you to write a book, something like Manifesting Made Easy. And I was thinking, what? This is too synchronistic. Like, this must be too crazy. This has got to be some sort of like scam where they want me to pay them to write a book. But I Googled the publishing house. It was a small publishing house I'd never heard of, titles that I was into. So I agreed to get on the phone with them, and they offered me a paid book deal to write my book. Now, I basically, long story short, I agree to write this book with them. And while I'm writing my book, this small publishing company gets bought by Simon and Schuster. So now I'm a Simon and Schuster published author, and it happened so easy and in a totally different, like roundabout way than you think it has to be, right? So now if you get my book and you see the back and it says simonandschuster.com, my book, when it came out, it was in all the airports and people bought it, everywhere. People have told me, like Target or Costco or Barnes and Noble or Amazon. So it's amazing to see what can happen if you just keep that belief, right? And claim your dream. And I think manifesting is so much more about allowing yourself to believe, right? It's really using your imagination to tap into your intuition, because we're all manifesting whether we realize it or not, right? And it's more about trusting the dream that you really want is actually wanting to come through, and you're receiving the universe's dream for you because we're intuitive, and the way that you tune into your intuition is through your imagination. And most people don't see it that way. They think like, I have to make it happen. Like, I have this idea and I'm manifesting and but really it's more about receiving and trusting and taking aligned action because you trust and expect that it's all going to work out. So it's way easier than most of us are making it out.
So how do you allow your dreams to happen?
So first, it's just getting really open, and it's almost like giving yourself permission to dream big, not based on your current circumstances. So even Lauren doing this podcast, right? It's like she was day job lawyer, right? This is like complete different, area, right? starting 52 Weeks of Hope. But she had this urge and desire to get this message across, right? And to help people. And that was bigger, right? So it's like really just opening up to whatever dream is there in your heart. And it might not be related to anything that you're doing. It could be, it might be completely related, right? But it's really opening up to possibility that's not based on your current circumstances. It's not based on who you know or how much money you have or how much time you have. But like, what would I really want to do if I could do anything? And start there.
You also talk about not dismissing your ideas.
Yeah, because I love to think of it as like we're at our favorite restaurant and we're placing our order, right? And the universe is the kitchen. And so if we're at our restaurant and we're placing our order, the kitchen is going to make your food, right? Whatever you order. The universe is a yes universe. It's a mirror to our desires. But we need to place our order in order for it to be received, right? If we're sitting there indecisive, the universe doesn't know what to bring us, right? So it's about deciding what you want and then not being in your head second guessing once you place your order. Okay, so you decided you wanted to get pizza. Feel good about that pizza. Don't second guess. Well, maybe I should have gotten the gluten-free, dairy-free, whatever. Like, that's fine. Like, enjoy the pizza, right? Like, obviously, aside from allergies, but it's like, feel good about whatever you're ordering. Like, and I think so often we're like, am I doing this right? Should I, could I be doing this better? Feel good about whatever you're doing, right? Because manifesting is about a feeling. It's not just about your actions and I'm going to recite these affirmations, but how are you feeling? The affirmations are really there to help you feel. And if you're not feeling it and you're just reciting affirmations, they're not helping you at all. It could actually be making you feel worse because you don't feel it. And you're like, oh, I don't have this. And I'm, feeling so bad about myself.
And then how about being clear with what you want? Like, you talk about that too.
So when you place your order, right? So it's feeling good, not second guessing that you made a bad decision, because you can always change your decision, right? You can always make another decision, but you want to see it through to the finish line, right? Until you receive it. And when I talk about the restaurant, I love to talk about ordering the special. Don't just order the same old thing you always order because it's safe, because you like to eat it. We all have our favorite restaurant we go to and the favorite thing on the menu we order all the time. But what if there's a special and it has all of your favorite ingredients, right? That special could totally change your life. And we know this when we step outside our comfort zone, that's when we can experience everything we want. So in order to send a clear message, we want to write out our intentions. And I love doing this. You can write out your intentions anytime. There's no right or wrong. A lot of people think have to do it on a new moon. A new moon is a wonderful time to write out intentions, but it doesn't have to be on a new moon. But traditionally, farmers planted seeds for the best harvest on new moons because it's dark on a new moon. You can't see it. And all new things are created in the darkness.